Our recording. All right, so let me just say that this is the meeting of the Hazel Park Amateur Radio Club, Detroit Area Repeater Team, and of course the ARDC update for today, which happens to be February 16th, 2026. Okay, so we don't have new news, but I have something interesting because it was just bothering me to no end, and it has to do with the circulator, the circulator. So I just wanted to talk about that, and then we'll go around and we can see what other business we have. So, oh, come on. So there we are. So the circulator. So why do we need the circulator? Of course, the first reason is back when this whole antenna project started, all that telephone equipment from Sprint was up on the roof, and some of it was just like 2 or 3 feet away from our antenna. So there's a lot of RF going on up there. So back in that day, when we first came up with this design, absolutely, we needed a circulator because what the circulator does is it prevents stray RF from all these other frequencies and transmitters from being received by our antenna going in reverse direction down the transmission line and then into the high power amplifier, the transmitter. Once it gets in there, it starts mixing with all the other signals that are in there, and before you know it, you got mixing products and harmonics and you name it, and it's frequencies abound. So the idea of the circulator is to prevent that from happening, and so that's how the story started. So this was back a couple of years ago. So we have to remember this project has actually been on the burner here. Not always the front burner, but it's been going on for some time now. So we're making some good headway. Okay, so the idea here is if we have a broken antenna or damaged cable or for whatever reason the SWR goes off the charts, the isolator helps prevent the transmitter itself. In our case, it would be the amplifier because our transmitter, don't quote me on this, it's like in 30, 40 watts, something like that, I think, or 50 watts maybe. But then we have the 100 watt external amplifier. So that's what we're talking about there. All right, so what is this thing we call the circulator? Ferroceramic pieces. All right, so ferro, that's
Correct.
magnetic material, iron, right? Ferroceramic pieces are sandwiched between two powerful magnets inside this aluminum enclosure. And basically, what happens here is what it does. You can see the picture. It sets up all these magnetic fields and all that sort of stuff, which is beyond my pay grade. I don't totally understand how that works, but I do know the end result is those magnetic fields are able to direct the RF energy in a particular direction. So if you look at this picture here, you can see the direction of the RF flow. So if you put a signal into port one, it'll flow in the clockwise direction and go out port two. If something which would normally be the antenna, would be at port two. But if the antenna happened to pick up any stray RF, it would, instead of going back into the transmitter into port one, it goes to the load. This is a 50 ohm load there, and it's rated at the same power. Our transmitters are 100 watts, so, but we'll talk about that 100 watts in a minute. So anyway, so this is what that whole thing is about. So the whole idea is if you can picture this here, let me get the fancy laser pointer. There we go. You can see, so here's port one. If you go in the forward direction, it's very low loss, but reverse direction, it's like a diode, an RF diode. Honestly, that's the same functionality, although this is a mechanical device, not an electronic device. Anyway, so get
Excuse me, Joe.
yes, go ahead.
Can we go ahead and skip over this description again? This will be like the third week we've reviewed what a circulator does, and can
Oh,
we
okay.
perhaps get to the rectification in the solution
Yeah.
as to
So
what
here,
happened? I was
okay, we're right
waiting for you
here.
to call me, and we never got together
Okay.
to call him back. So can you please get us up to speed on what the current condition is of the circulator and what has been transpired with the antenna farm? If we could, please, just so we can speed things up tonight. I know Andrew's very busy and we don't have time to
Right.
go over this again and again and again. We got to start getting some progress
Okay.
made. If you don't mind.
I
Thank
don't,
you. Thank you.
believe me, I don't. So here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. You can see these two spec sheets, right? There's the spec sheet on the left, the spec sheet on the right. I don't remember where I got the spec sheet on the left, but it's the one that I used when initially laid out the specifications. And you go down here, you can see input power 100 watts. Well, after spending a lot of time with the other parts and researching the repeater itself, the Motorola, and all that. So I looked at it quickly and thinking, oh, yeah, well, okay, that would work. But first of all, there should always be 100% headroom there. So the minimum should have been 200 watts because we know our transmitter is 100 watts. Okay. So that was problem number one. But the most important thing, and you can see what happened, Telewave went under a reorganization. The the spec sheet that I used initially, and again, this is over, I think about 18 months ago, a year and a half ago. So the Telewave, so here you could see, so going through it quickly, okay, 100 watts. Whoop, works for me. Wrote it down. Right, T dash 1530. Okay, figuring honestly, 35 dB. If we have problems of more than 35 dB that we have to suppress, then we have something more serious on our hands. So, generally speaking, it's a reasonable, a reasonable amount of isolation there, and with only 4/10 of a dB, one half dB, right, insertion loss, how could you go wrong? Okay, but what they don't tell you, and what we subsequently found out after the reorganization, and they reissued the spec sheet here. So this is a later version, and you can see here where it talks about the power level. You can see how the power level, um, the duty cycle comes into play. Because we're transmitting FM, our duty cycle is 100%, right? So at 100%, really, the real spec for this particular product is really only 60 watts. So it's a little bit confusing, to be quite honest with you. So what happened is, it was purchased, it was put in line. Initially, it works, but over time, because however long it took, and I don't know what that length of time was, but eventually the component failed, and that's how we ended up where we ended up. So, Al, does that answer the question?
Yeah, I mean, sort of, but not really at all, actually,
Why?
because first of all, well, we ordered the wrong one, right? We
Correct.
ordered
That's correct.
you ordered the
Yes.
T1530
Right.
single isolator. Now
Yes.
we still don't know if they charged us for the 1530H, which is the one that's on display advertised at the antenna farm. The H stands for high power. So that the H is a 300-watt isolator.
Right.
Okay. So if you had intended on purchasing the H, which was what was listed on the antenna farm's website, that's $900 more, right? We
Right.
went
Now,
over all this, so it's $900 more. Then we got billed an additional $900 supposedly for tariffs, and now to find out that they didn't even clear that check. So that $800 $900 check that was submitted supposedly for tariffs hasn't even been cashed yet by the antenna farm. So we don't know where that $800 $900 fee came from. We don't have an invoice still. I wanted you to get a hold of the invoice. We could call them because perhaps we can get the high power one, get this one, send it back saying this isn't what we paid for.
yeah, yeah,
We can hold
yeah,
their feet to the fire and get the
yeah.
right one.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, I heard now recently that you sent it back already. Is that the case? You already sent it back?
I'm going to send it to no,
W-
because I had to go out of town and take my daughter up. So I'm
Okay,
back
so you
here.
did
I
not
have it,
send it back. That's a good
uh,
thing thus
but
far.
I have the documentation of the the spectrum plots and all that kind of stuff that I'm gonna that I have. I want to send them.
Right.
Uh,
Do you have the invoice, Joe?
I don't have the invoice.
Well, who
I
has the
don't.
invoice? We got to
That's
know how much we paid
excellent.
for all this.
That is an excellent question. So we'll figure that out. We'll
No, we gave a purchase order and they
yeah, it
worked
was
off the
this thing,
purchase
I
order.
think. This was it, right? The purchase order. Yeah, right here.
Yeah,
Here,
that's a
purchase.
purchase order, right? That's what we gave to them. But somewhere they told us how much everything's going to be. That's an
Yes,
invoice. This is a purchase order. Then they
yes,
send us an invoice or
yes,
corrected the purchase order.
yes.
Because none of
And
these prices are relevant actually to what the current prices are on their website, even now with added time. Yeah, I
well,
don't
hold on.
understand where the
That
prices difference are.
absolutely. And that this was the quote that they gave us, and those are the numbers that were used at that time, which was September, last September, September 1st, right? So these prices were probably collected, let's say in August, right? And so that's where these prices are from. I will say that the web, when you look up this item, first of all, they don't even list the 1530 anymore. It's not even on their website anymore, and they only have the 1530H. So you are correct, Mundo, on that one, Al.
And also
Well,
on their website, they show the 1530H, I think it was, as being out of spec for what we want. I think they showed 148 megahertz to 178 megahertz. And we're at 146 megahertz for one,
right, yeah.
And right now, I think the old Quantar, according to John, unless I talked to him, it's still output is over 100 watts out of the repeater.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
Well, out
now
of the amplifier,
if we
yeah, out of the
overdriven
amplifier.
if we overdriven this isolator
Right, that's
with
what
more than
happened.
100 watts, we might be
Yeah.
liable for it. So, you know,
Okay, but probably you know what? All right, it was our mistake. It was a source. It was projected lower than it should have been. There should have been the safety factor 100%. If you have 100 watts, we should have gone for at least 200. But stuff happens. What can I say? So what I want to do is, so the next question is, how do we fix this thing? Because it's not as much about the money as we need the functionality of it. So how do we get this thing fixed, as economically as possible? So my question is, do we go back to antenna farm? Okay, and they're very nice once you get them on the phone. Very, very nice. But what is their capability of being able to fix this anyway? Do we just go right to Telewave, right? They make the thing, and they probably were the ones who tuned it. It was probably like maybe a drop ship or something like that. So maybe we just go to Telewave and say, look, guys, you know, help us out here. We're a community-based organization, and a lot of good guys are depending on us, and we're doing the best we can, and all that sort of stuff. And hopefully, we'll be able to fix it. I'm sure it won't be for free. It'll cost whatever it is, but
so what do you do with it then, Joe? It's fixed and it's not the right one. What do you do with it then?
I'm sorry, say again, what is what?
So you get it fixed for a fee
Yeah.
and it's still the wrong one. What are you going to do with it now?
Oh, but you
You
mean
got
because
it fixed, you
it's
can't
not
return
high?
it. You
That's a
get it.
great question. What do we do with it? That is a good question. What do we do with it?
Put it
Hmm,
on the old repeater.
that is a good question. Okay, let's put that in the bin there, and we have to come up with you are correct. So, well, first of all, it needs to get fixed. Yeah, a component of that quality, no matter what, whether it's the right uh, or whether it's high enough power or not, it needs to be fixed so that at least within its range, we get it working. Then the question is, okay, now what do we do? Right, it was a mistake and an honest mistake. And so now we just want to figure out a way to recover the best we can.
Yeah, we don't loan it out again, that's for sure. And if we loan it out again, we got to make sure that whoever we loaned it to has checked the power input maximum power rating on it, so they don't destroy a $2,000 device and just hand it back to you broken for you to
Well,
try to get it fixed.
but Al, think about this for a minute, though. In a way, in a kind of an odd way, it's almost a good thing because we found out about this ahead of time. I mean, imagine had we not gone through all this, we install it, you get a forklift, take we're done cabling it, everybody's all,
Right,
you
but
know,
the old Quantar's got more
and,
output power than the SLR 5000 with the amplifier. That was the
oh no,
difference.
no, no, no,
According
no.
to John Geegarden, it is. Yep, he
What
says
do you
there's more
say?
output
No, I don't
power.
think. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he
No,
said 125 watts. Pretty
uh,
sure that's what he said. 125 coming out of the
I would
Quantar.
look that up. I would look.
So,
I always thought it was 100, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It's all the same in the same neighborhood there. Okay, so
and we got to
that
verify the operational frequency. Is it what Antenna Farm says it is on their website, or is it what we need?
well, here's
146 megahertz.
yeah. So here's the picture. This is what was labeled. My guess is from what I'm putting together, and again, I'm not an expert in this, but Telwave probably tuned it and then shipped it to Antenna Farm, who shipped it to us, would be my guess. I don't know that Antenna Farm, and maybe they do. Maybe Antenna Farm does have the capability of tuning these things. I'm not sure. But anyway, whoever tuned it put the label right here 146.640 megahertz. Now, the other thing, look at this. So I use this as a test, right? So you can see it's low power. So I use the Yaesu 8900. So we're only doing 5 watts into a dummy load. So you can see that, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. This is a spectrum analyzer, right? Okay. So here we're spanned out 5 megahertz, and this just shows that the noise floor is flat. We have a flat noise floor before we do anything and before we do any transmitting. And so again, here, insertion loss, 4/10 of a dB, 100 watts input power. So, but that's misleading. That's old thinking, I guess, right? Although this is the real serial number, by the way. Okay, so here's something I found on Google AI. I just want to say this. This is 100 watts of continuous input power, okay? Don't know where Google AI got that from, but again, it's confusing and it's an error that's made. It's like why the spacecraft crashed into Mars decades ago because difference between inches and millimeters. So anyway, that kind of a thing. Anyway, okay. Don't want to, just so here's the latest. These are the curves that we're going to submit to them just to show the ideal curve should look like that. You can see how flat this is. And then here you see a direct connection and here you see when you input, so the forward insertion loss in this configuration is, you call it 30 dB. Supposed to be 4/10 of a dB. Come on. So here, the thing is broken, without a doubt, it's broken. Why is it broken? Because it was ordered underrated. The power was underrated. You know what I mean? I mean, at least it's not a spaceship that blew up on the launch pad, So, so we'll do okay. All right, we'll figure this out.
I
Uh,
suggest you run this by the um, antenna farm first, the dealer, so you have them on your side if you
Okay.
have to go to Telway, you know,
Would you?
at least
Yeah,
run it by them. So
I would hope so. They were friendly enough once I got them on the phone. Getting them on the phone is, you got to do it the right time of day, I suppose. But yeah, everybody was friendly, but you can see the difference. Here it's direct. Here, that's with the circulator in, out, in. So there. Then I did a little something a little different. We used the this was the yeah. So we did it a second time. The setup was a little bit different. Took out some of the cabling and kind of spruced things up a little bit. But again, it's the same result. Here we have the 2 meter RF generator, which is my Yaesu, right? into the dummy load. And then here you can see here we see even a 40 dB loss. So without a doubt, the thing is broken. So our goal is okay, we get it,
And
whatever. It was ordered, it was underrated when it was ordered. It was a legitimate mistake. So how can we most gracefully fix this thing and move on, quite frankly? And thank goodness all that telephone equipment is now no longer on the roof. So we got a little breathing room here. So it will not hold up the installation, although by the
okay.
time that
Well,
happens,
this is going
yeah,
on the
so,
third week. This is going on the third week at least now, Joe, with this
yeah,
defunct piece of equipment. And the longer we wait to contact them about it, the
yeah.
less likely they're going to resolve anything for us.
So let's do
So
that.
it's pertinent. No, I'm not involved with this one anymore. So I
What?
tried a couple
Oh, come
weeks
on.
ago, Joe, and
I know, I know,
you
I
never
know.
called me back. You didn't supply me with any of the pricing from them so we could try to figure out an angle of attack to, maybe hold them accountable. I've
Yeah,
been given a lie that it was sent back last week. It was sent out that, oh yeah, it's been shipped back. So nobody's in the loop anymore. There's emails being sent out, and I don't think anyone's reading some of them. Then they're sending out false emails, Joe.
yeah,
So this has to be corrected. Whether or
yeah.
not we keep it, and I don't know, maybe try to sell it at a swap and then buy the right one.
Right, right.
I don't know, Joe. But the longer we wait, the less they're going to feel obligated to help us at all. We
Yeah,
installed it, we used it, we broke it,
yeah.
we overdriven it. Something's wrong. Those are tunable underneath those little caps. Those little silver claps are tunable capacitors that are probably pretty
Yes,
expensive. Yes.
yes.
And also is the isolator itself, the isolator load. Those are replaceable. And
Right.
I sent you a link weeks ago where to purchase those at. Now, because you mentioned about trying to repair it yourself, well, you could possibly start with maybe just replacing the isolator loads on there. So you can go back and try to do that yourself if you want, or you can reach out to the antenna farm and say, listen, I was given a bill of material or somebody. I don't know who the contact was for the club to order all this. We ordered everything and we got everything that we ordered that was according to the bill of material, but the isolator. We were supposed to get the 1560 and somehow we got the 1530 and now it doesn't work. So I don't know how you want to go about letting them know,
Yeah.
but
Well,
you're gonna someone's
it was,
gonna have to step up on this one, and we got to get it
yeah.
rectified before they say, "No, screw you. Here, buy another one." And besides that, Andrew's gonna need it to complete the duplexer setup. So
Right, right, right.
we can't just keep kicking this thing around and around and around, Joe.
Yeah, Al, I agree with you. You're correct on that. And so we'll move ahead on that. Life gets in the way sometimes, but you're absolutely right. I've nothing to say other than that we're now ready to move ahead. We have all the documentation together. Uh, you know, like Len says, let's approach Antenna Farm first and show them what we have here in terms of what we've seen in terms of
So
the measurement, and ask
Len,
them how do we move forward, right?
Were
I mean,
you in contact with them at one point? Len, didn't
yes,
you
yes, yes, and
have
I sent
communications?
I
All
sent
right.
them emails
All
too.
right. So
Uh,
maybe the two of you
yeah,
can go ahead and get this squared away then, seeing how it
yeah.
was and it wasn't and now it isn't again. So I don't
Oh, come
know.
on, Al.
I gave you guys all the ammo you needed, right?
You
I showed you the
did.
prices. I
Thank
broke
you.
everything
Yes, you
down. I gave
did. Yes,
sent
yep,
everybody the email showing the differences, the spec
yeah,
sheet differences. They're not coordinating with what Telwave says. Now you found a whole nother Telwave spec sheet. Now we're working with duty cycles, right? And the
right, right.
wattage, the duty, the FM, the mode has nothing to do with the duty cycle. The mode has nothing to do with the duty cycle. The duty cycle is the transmit time. So it doesn't matter what mode it is.
Oh,
It's
whoa, whoa,
still
whoa, whoa, whoa. No,
60%.
no, 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 no. If you're transmitting FM, right? Well, follow me here for a minute, Al. You're transmitting FM, right? It's a constant carrier. What's varying, right, is the frequency, within a certain range. and that's how we get the modulation. So the point there is FM is 100% duty cycle versus,
Everything's
hold on, hold on,
100%
hold on, hold on,
besides
hold on,
sideband. Sideband is the
versus,
only thing.
thank you, yes, exactly, versus sideband where
So
it's going,
100% duty cycle for 6 out of 10 minutes is what that graph is saying. 60% of the time you can have 100% duty cycle, not 100% of the time, only
right,
60% of the time. So that means for every 10 minutes, that duty cycle, that thing has to cool down for 40%. Probably not quite that much, right?
right.
It'll
Let
cool
me,
down in probably 20% time, but every 6 out of 10 minutes is the maximum you can transmit. You can have RF energy going through that circulator 60% of the time, no matter what mode. AM, hell, you can be on sideband and talk 100% duty cycle as long as you don't take a breath. So even sideband, you can manage 100% duty cycle. But duty cycle is
but
duty cycle. It
I,
does
you know,
nothing to do with the mode.
I, 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 we'll double check that. Okay, anyway, let's put that in the parking lot for right now. The next question is, okay, look, we've got a problem here. We'll go to antenna farm. We'll say, listen, this is the deal. What do we do? How can you help
The
us?
the only
Okay,
thing
Well,
we
they
can do
call it,
now, Joe, if you look at a power level watt, 60 watts, 100% duty cycle.
right here, yeah.
Our repeater
okay,
is 50 watts. So the only thing you can do with that circulator is not use the amplifier.
Wait, our repeater is how much?
50
How-
watts.
oh, I don't think
50.
so. I think it's more than
Oh,
that.
good.
No,
The-
the repeater's 50 watts, the amplifier's 100.
oh,
But
the new
but
one, the new one. Hey, Andrew, how you doing?
yeah,
The new one. Yes, correct. I'm thinking of the
Right.
Quantar.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about the new. I don't care about
Uh,
that
Okay. Well, yeah, but
Frankenstein up there, right?
that's what broke it, right? That's what broke it. So let me
Right.
ask you this: Can you put Andrew? So can you put this circuit? Let's say we fix it, which we will. We get it fixed. But what if we put the circulator in between the output of the repeater and the input to the amplifier, right? I mean,
No. Now you're going to risk the amplifier not being protected.
correct. Thank you. Correct. Fair enough. Fair enough. And the amplifier has the most power, so if you're going to be generating mixing products and harmonics and all that stuff, yeah, you definitely do not want it in the amplifier. Okay. Okay, good. Very good. All right.
Joe,
So, yeah, yes, go ahead, Len.
if we want to contact I forget his name now, Bob or
Antenna
Bill,
farm.
And
John. His name is John. Here's
John
the
at the antenna farm. That's right.
yeah.
Because chances are he's going to want us to send it to Telway. And
Oh, I'm sure. I would think
I
so.
would think so, but you want to give him a heads up on it in case he wants it sent to him first. I don't know what he'd do with it, but because I don't think he's set up to check him out
So
like.
we'll get that sorted. So, but here's the thing that we learned that I learned that I'd like to share when sourcing critical components. Download the spec sheets only from the manufacturer's website because the vendor provided spec sheets may be outdated, which is how we got caught up here with all this. Had this been known in the beginning, then maybe more thought would have been given to getting the right thing. So we'll get out of that. This is the only device they currently have, the only device, the 1530 here, and you can so here maximum input 300 watts, but as was pointed out, the frequency band is 148, and of course we're 146. So now we're in a quandary as to what to do. So it makes things even more complicated. So stay tuned, more to follow on this. And that's this is what the initial purchase order was. And that's all that I have here, other than what I shown.
real quick,
Any questions? Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Al.
can
Yeah.
can Len verify that those polyphasers are end connectors as well?
The
Len,
polyphasers?
yes.
You mean the lightning arresters? What are
Well, they're right.
polyphasers? What do
They're
you mean?
static. They're static bleed offs. They're polyphasers.
Oh yeah, the polyphasers. Are
Right.
they? Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, I think you ordered N. Can you verify that N is what we received from the shipment from Antenna Farm?
And also, uh, if we had a copy of the packing list, that would have been helpful too. And we could have added this. I like to get some electronic copies of it so we have everything nice and neat all
And it should
together.
be uploaded onto
Yes,
the drive, the dark
yes,
drive.
yes, sir.
So
It
I even
certainly
have a
should. Yeah.
scanner. If you don't have any way to scan any of this stuff, I can
Yeah.
break out my old scanner and we can make a
Okay. Yeah.
digital
I,
copy,
I
or you can probably just take a picture of it too with your phone.
You certainly can. But the problem with that is you have to have you have to have the original. And so we'll have to track that down. We have it somewhere. We know that. I've seen it and I know it's somewhere. So we need to give a little more attention to our organization here.
All the paperwork on top of the cabinet. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, great. Thank you. Oh, Andrew's here. Andrew, how you doing there, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. You got anything you want to add? I mean, I got a little carried away with this, but anyway, any news, anything you want to say?
Now I got the All-Star and Broadcastify working. So if you actually go on right now, it'll show as offline, but I had it streaming with the hourly announcements and all that. So that looks like it works pretty well. I think the only thing now as far as the node All-Star node itself goes is getting the node numbers.
Oh
And we
yes,
need the
I
official FCC ULS authorization for that.
right.
And then once I have that, I could do everything else.
So I have that.
Just send them your login credentials for All Star.
Yes, the
That's all you got to
correct.
do. Your email
No, so I
address and your
so
login, your
I was
password.
talking with Joe before. I sent him another email like 2 days ago. I talked to the All-Star help email,
Oh,
and
did
the
you?
best
Oh,
yeah, the best way to do this is to have a separate account for the club that's not tied to anyone's personal email. So we have that with that dartunify@gmail.com that we're using for all the Ubiquity stuff. So all I need is official FCC UL from the ULS system, the official FCC authorization for W8HP to show that we actually own the call sign.
oh, okay. Hold on 2 seconds.
So
Let's see.
all you have to do is log into the ULS and the FCC with your FRN or whatever FRN the club's call is under, and then print the official authorization from there. And it has to be
I
the
have
one
it.
that you log
I
in
have
to
it.
get.
I
Oh,
have it.
perfect.
Here's a copy of the Telway warranty right
Oh, you
here.
got it? Okay, stand. Hold. Yep. Okay.
Here's a um, explanation about from Telway
Okay.
cavity and duplexer tuning. I guess the duplexer's from Telway too.
Yes, it is. That's correct. We have a number of things. The that we and the antenna too came from Telwave. So we have a pretty significant investment with them, and that's why I'm looking for them to help us just get all this straightened out.
It is a scanner, but I don't know how to use it. I haven't
All right,
opened
you
it
know
yet.
what? Can you just take a picture with your phone and
Yeah, I can.
or something like that, or hold on, or bring it to breakfast on Saturday,
Do you see an invoice, Lon? Is there an invoice in that stack?
or a packing slip actually.
Packing slip probably won't have a price though. An invoice should.
No, it won't. Yeah, you're right. It won't. It won't.
And then if you don't find that, maybe you could briefly go over what the warranty said.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to. Let me just say, I just want to say, Andrew, I heard good things about your presentation there on Wednesday. And Len, thanks for filling in there.
this warranty may be on the duplexer then. Oh, it's on the antenna.
Could be the antenna. I was just gonna say, it might be the
Yeah, it's the
antenna.
antenna. But I don't know if it's in there. Well, anyway,
Okay,
Right. So
so
if you
you
could,
don't see an invoice then, is that what you're saying?
no invoice here.
All right.
so bring it to breakfast and we can figure that out. And that way we get copies and then everything get everything in the shared on the shared drive there. Okay. That's what I and does anybody have anything else to add to that here? Yeah,
Well, Andrew, I guess will take care of getting the All-Star node number, and then that way he can perhaps email it to me and I can complete the QSL card so we can go ahead and start getting quotes on that so we can have them ready for net 3,000, right?
absolutely. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And also, we haven't seen Dave lately and we don't know the status of the asset tags. Did he order them? He was going to order them and have them delivered to Len's house. We want to move forward on identification
Yes.
and getting that going. So that's something that could be going now while we're stagnant, right? Not doing anything
Right.
else.
Yeah.
And then we gotta, we still haven't went over the remote receiver sites if we have to upgrade any equipment there, right? Are we gonna
Right.
need new power supplies and a new transceiver?
Yeah, no, that we should it's just going to be a cable. That's the only thing that we have to add is a cable between the RTCM and whatever's there currently.
yeah, but what we don't know what's there and how old it is. Maybe if we had the money now, we should just upgrade it. It's a thought. Well, we have the money, not doing anything. Um, the and then we have the white elephant in the room, Joe. We have the white elephant. We don't know of the site location. So, what's the update on the Federation? Has any progress been made on it? Has anybody moved further? Has anybody gotten a hold of anybody? And if not, what is the status of your other site at the university? Is that still
I
being pursued? And what's the status? We're going to need a home for this stuff, right?
I have to go now, but so all I need for the All-Star node is the official FCC authorization from ULS. So if you don't have that,
I do. I
um,
do. I
you
have
do
it.
okay.
Absolutely I have that. And yes, I'm right. Yeah, okay.
So yeah,
Yes.
once I
And
have that, I could do everything else on my end.
I will have it to you imminently, and I mean that
Awesome.
honestly. Okay. And thank you, Andrew, for your patience and everything for that you do here. So have a good evening, and we'll talk to you again soon there.
Yep, sounds good. Have a good rest of your Monday night, guys. See ya.
Okay, see you. Bye-bye.
Ask Mark for the update on the Federation.
Well, we don't have an update right at this time. Mark, if you have something you want to, is Mark even here? I don't have a full sight of everybody who's here. Mark, is Mark here?
I'm here.
Oh, so I beg your
I
pardon.
don't have anything beyond what I had sent you in that email
Exactly,
Tuesday.
exactly.
Did you actually get it?
I did.
Okay, okay, I
So
wasn't sure.
yeah. So
And
I've been
as
out. Yeah, I've been out of town. I just got back the day before yesterday. I spent all day like catching up on much deserved sleep. But go ahead. I'm back in the saddle here.
okay. So I'm still waiting to hear. And
Yes.
I've told you my thoughts already, so
Yep.
I'll leave it at
Yep.
that.
Yep. 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 Got it. So when we hear and we will give an update. But thanks for doing the legwork on that there, Mark. Uh, so we're good.
What's the update on Oakland University?
You know, we kind of eased off the accelerator on that one, given as there was a pretty strong opposition to moving from a current location, which is very understandable and certainly makes sense. But along with all the other things that are required, it probably we could reawaken that what we have done so far is we sent a letter, a very nice letter, I might say, and our plan and explaining who we are and what we do and so on and so forth. And the letter was copied to the engineering department there, since the engineering building happens to be the largest building, right? So, and that needs to be followed up with a phone call, which has yet to happen, but certainly can happen. So that's where we are on that exactly. Hopefully, that will be a remote site. If needs be, maybe it turns into more, but if nothing else, we could use that as a remote site. We had that other north remote site there near where the astronomy telescope was there. But the problem there was because it's a telescope, they put it like down in a valley to block the light, the ambient light. So unfortunately, it wasn't the highest spot for radio transmitters, but it worked reasonably well. But this there at the university would be a much good improvement and will help fill in those areas in the northwest corner of Oakland County and the northeast corner of Macomb County. Does anybody have?
Well, I got one last question, a hypothetical
Yes.
question,
Okay.
regarding if we are able to maintain the current location at the Federation, and um, I guess if we have to either outsource the antenna installation, or B, if we're going to be able to do it on our own. I'm curious how much has anybody had a chance to kind of sit and figure out, I guess, a quote, perhaps how much maybe a crane would cost for an hour's worth of work. I think we have to start figuring out where we have to allocate the remainder of the funds and where we need to keep it for. So,
What happened? Oops.
I don't know
Um,
if we know how
yes.
much we're going to have to allocate for antenna installation.
I would say this, and I'm trying to find. Of course, I have a slide, but like many things, having a slide and finding the slides are like having a file and finding a file. But oh, geez, the
I think we've seen that slide that you had in the past, Joe, and
yeah,
there might have been some
here's
controversy as to the
you know
price
what
of it.
I would say. Okay, I Al, I would say this personally. I, we need professional installation. I think for reasons of liability, number one, should something happen. Number two, it would make the landlord feel better because it'd be somebody they know and they trust, like hopefully their electricians would do it for us. And third, look, we shouldn't be at our age, we shouldn't be running around on rooftops and things like that and on ladders and
That's right.
and all that. And I honestly, uh, you know, I we could say certainly in somewhere else, but I think it's a safety issue in addition to just having, a
Right.
qualified person do it. So
And liability, exactly, for the property owners, I
yeah,
guess ease of heart and all that. Okay, so my next avenue then would be, I know you guys frequent the Saturday morning breakfasts at the Cozy Cabin, and Sean is there quite regularly.
yes, he
Can
is. Yes.
somebody present? I know he has a lot of experience with antenna installations on towers and buildings. Can somebody reach out to him and maybe ask him, hey, how much you think, and who do you think we should contact? Should we allocate money for to have this done, regardless where it's at, right? We're going to have a base price as
Right,
to how
right.
much we need to set aside for it. And I think Sean would be, perhaps, if he's willing to help us, I know he has an antenna crew. So I don't know
Yeah.
if we could perhaps, maybe, supply them with money, or maybe a couple sandwiches or a couple cases of beer, whatever they need, right?
A couple cases
You-
of beer, Al.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. As they're standing on the top rung of the ladder,
yeah,
on the
right, yeah.
15th floor.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
we have,
if we
and
could
we have
ask
had,
him,
yeah, that excellent. First of all, just to let you know, he's on the copy list. So the information that goes to everybody, he's one of the people that we caught, even though he's not a formal club member. You're absolutely right. He has a wealth of experience and good advice. So he has been copied on this. Now, he's a busy guy, whether he's had a chance to go through it all. I'm not sure, but we do talk about things, and that's one of the things we talked about. So yeah, having the crew and 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 getting a recommendation on some of the things that need to be thought about, right? I don't know anybody more qualified than Sean, so
because next question or the final, I guess, spot is going to be how are we, with ARDC? Are they going to be asking us for a status update? What's the next step? And this is why I think we need to start reeling in the numbers and figuring out how much everything else is going to cost so we can explain to them, well, okay, we have this much set aside. This is how much we got left. This is what we want to do with it. So we want to
right.
use it in that time. I think even though we're not spending it, we should provide them, with, I guess, an agenda and the cost analysis with what we have left over. So that way they're satisfied and perhaps they'd be so satisfied if we want to go back in the future and maybe get a little more for another UHF repeater if we don't have enough on funds in the account for it. So, we're trying to, I don't know, save money so we can get another repeater or perhaps appease them enough where we can go back and get more money before they run out of it.
Uh, Correct. And what I'm trying to show here, so you're talking about something like this, right? I mean, this was the original plan. This was the original plan. Now, what's interesting is this was updated. I could see because it says duplicator cost increase. The question is how public do we want to make this? We're certainly open to transparency. It's
I'm
hard to
not,
say,
no, I'm not
you
saying
know,
making it public
but this
on
is
the
not.
internet,
This
but
was the estimate,
right, to
more or less.
provide them basically a breakdown what we got left and how
Yeah,
we plan to allocate
a
it.
balance sheet. We need a balance sheet. You're right. You are
So that
correct.
so if they come back and ask us, hey, we want to audit, what the heck you got going on with our money that we gave you? We can say, well,
Right.
here's what we got, and
Right.
here's what we got left. Here's what we need it for. We're just kind of at
Yeah.
a stalemate because we're not, our location isn't nailed down. I don't even know if you want to tell them that, but this is why it's important to have all these
Yeah.
ducks in order.
Yeah. So, right. It is. It is. You're a great technical manager. All these things are really. You're absolutely correct. And so let's work together on that. With Len and John and anyone else. Hugh, anyone wants to jump in here. But I'm now back, so I can focus on this, and things are quieting down around here. Thank goodness.
All right.
So
Well, you can
we'll
reach
get this
out,
knocked
Joe,
out.
if you want to
Yeah.
call me.
Great. Thank you. I'd appreciate it.
Please
Yeah.
please review
Yeah.
your emails because
Yeah.
it's kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, when we ask you if you read an email and you say you didn't get it or you didn't see it, you're included in all of them. So you
I
gotta.
know.
This is kind of important right now. We're getting down to the crunch time, perhaps, and we gotta make sure we don't fall further and further behind. We got to
Abs
quit dropping the balls. That's what's happening. All the balls are getting dropped, and now it's a conundrum, right? It's a
Right.
catastrophe
Right.
of errors.
Right.
Unfortunately, we're running
Right.
around on top of bowling balls going down a hill.
The bowling ball. I worked in a bowling alley in high school. It was a Brunswick. There were with 35 Brunswick lanes. Anyway, all right. Well, okay. So stay tuned. And Al, thank you again for keeping us on the straight and level here. If anybody else has anything else to say, I owe a few people a few things, not to mention the FCC license that we have. We'll get that off to Andrew in addition to the remaining items there for the All-Star Node. So take care. Have a good evening. Good night, everybody, and see you soon.